My name is Tracy Alonzo. Today I'm going to talk to you about a subject that's near and dear to my heart, which is our environment, and more specifically, how we can do our part to clean our environment in regards to recycling. Recycling is one of the easiest things that we can all do. So when I'm talking to you about recycling, I want to first explain what is recycling. Well, it's the collection and process of taking items that are unused and otherwise would be disregarded and thrown away. The EPA actually has that definition on their website, along with some other really valuable tools and information that you can refer to if you're trying to figure out how to recycle and what to do. Recycling impacts our landfills, it impacts our natural resources, and it also has an impact on the economy. We actually can receive a lot of benefits. So we're going to talk about those kind of 3 points. And also our clean air and why that's important. So let's start first with landfills. You get your trash from your house, you take it out to your street, a truck comes and collects it, and it goes to where? It goes to this giant heap of trash called a landfill. And landfills are filling and overflowing. And we have a problem here in the United States with our landfills. They continually are collecting trash and they're running out of space, which means we have to find more land in order to put our trash, and our landfills aren't great for our communities. They burn, they produce methane, which gets in the air and is harmful to our health. So we have to consider the factors of what landfills are doing. One way to eliminate all of that waste is by recycling. We're using those materials that we already have and recycling. Not all Americans actually even recycle. Only about half have access to recycling. And even then, that half doesn't all recycle. Where my in-laws live in Kentucky, they don't have a recycling option. They actually have to drive their trash where they take it without a recycle option. So if they want to recycle, they have to drive to an even larger city in order to do that, which really isn't best for the environment if they're having to drive their recycling. Let's make recycling more accessible to Americans. The more of us that can do it, the more that's going to be recycled and the less that's going to be in our landfills. In 2018, China passed a law and said that they were going to refuse to take any of our waste. They had a list about 25 items that they were no longer going to take, plastic being one of the biggest parts of it. Well, that was an eye-opening experience for us here in the United States because we realized we don't have the infrastructure to handle all that we actually need to recycle. So we're producing all of these things, we're recycling all of these things, but our facilities aren't capable of taking them. Not only are they not capable of taking them, but the equipment is outdated, it doesn't work. So your little bottle caps and your lids and your straws, they're too little to go through the equipment and they just fall through and then they get thrown away. So while we think we're doing a really good job by putting all of those things in the recycle bin, not all of it can actually be recycled or processed. And part of that has to do with the fact that we've got to do our part in making sure that our facilities are up to date and have what we need so that we can process all of ours for recycling. And that goes into really our natural resources and the impact that recycling has on our natural resources. So when we aren't recycling, then what happens? Well, we're collectively still making new, as they call it, virgin material, which means we're taking things from our environment, we're cutting down trees, we're taking land, and we're trying to keep making more things. Rather than taking what we have, we're using it, repurposing it, and making new. If we actually went ahead and reused things, we're actually taking less energy in production of repurposing them rather than remaking them. For example, steel is 95% less energy to actually recycle, aluminum than it is to manufacture new. For steel, it's 40% less water and creates 97% less mining if we just repurpose the aluminum and the steel we have. Another fun, interesting fact is that for every 10 bottles, plastic bottles that are recycled, we actually produce enough energy to power a laptop for over 25 hours. That's huge. So we have to think about our environment and our natural habitats and kind of leaving that alone. And so that's part of repurposing and recycling the materials that we have. There are benefits. That's the other great thing. People love it when there's a benefit to our economy. Money is what talks. So recycling brings jobs. Actually, per year, recycling gives us over 700,000 jobs, 37 billion in wages, and 7 billion in tax revenue that we get as United States because we recycle, and that's according to the EPA. The National Institute of Health says that actually for every 10,000 tons of waste, incinerators produce 1 job. For every 10,000 pounds of waste, landfills produce 6 jobs, but recycling produces 36 jobs. So the numbers are there, the math is there, and it shows that if we are dedicated to doing this, we are manufacturing here, we're producing jobs, and we're taking care of our environment. Remember those big 3 R's: reduce what you use, recycle what you have, and reuse everything that you have. You can buy bulk to produce less materials. You can eliminate plastic bags, eliminate straws. If you don't know where to go, the EPA's website is a great one. Contact your local government, fight for regulations and change in order to make an impact on our environment so you can live and breathe in this area. I like to think that the best way to decide whether you want to do this is think about putting all of your trash in your backyard. Every day, every week, every month, your trash is collecting in your backyard and it's not going to go anywhere. That's going to be the deciding factor for how much you're putting back there and why you would make the decision to recycle.